world-renowned artist and entrepreneur, Mr. Charles A. Bibbs.
How you doing?
Hi, welcome.
Good.
Thank you so much for having us in your house.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And we're in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, and we are at?
The 626 Art Gallery at Studio B.
Great. And we're looking at some of your wonderful, wonderful, are they paintings or how do you describe
It's a combination of graphics and original arts. And this particular exhibition is an exhibition about the mystics. So it's a collection of works that I created over the last 20 years that involves something related in some way to the ideal of mystics.
So when you say mystic, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
I think yes, and I think we all have a little bit of mysticism in ourselves. Okay, because you can be a mystic in terms of religion, you can be a mystic in terms of your own lifestyle. Okay, so it's basically somebody that concentrates on a particular belief or a particular ideal or a particular way of life. Okay, and I could be considered as a mystic of the arts. Okay, so we're all in a sense mystics.
The one word I noticed in looking at your website was giclée.
Yes.
And can you tell us what that word means?
Well, the word giclée it comes from the word squirt, or is derived as a French term meaning to squirt.
Okay.
Basically, a giclée in art terms is a high-tech inkjet process. And we all deal with inkjets every day in our office environment, right. And your inkjet printers. But this takes it to a higher degree of technology and detail. Usually images are reproduced in dot patterns. For the most part, you're dealing with 300 DPIs. But with giclée, the dot patterns are so small, it's the size of a human blood cell. It gives you two things. It gives you better clarity of the image. So when you get dot patterns that dense, more detail and more brilliant colors, and the colors are a lot truer.
Good to know.
Yes.
Another question, in looking at your beautiful artwork here, is I see a theme of
Yes.
birds and feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that. What does that mean to you, and why do you have
Well,
that here?
a lot of the motifs that I use in my art, particularly long-necked birds, I call them, feathers. These are symbolic things that have a particular meaning to me, and it's also a trademark that I carry throughout most of my work. The long-necked bird symbolizes grace and beauty. The feather symbolizes enlightenment. Okay, and then I get into a lot of other symbolisms that have specific meanings. But it really depends on the image that I'm putting together. And then it will have birds in it, then we'll have feathers in it, and then we'll have also other symbols in it as well. If you do a survey and you walk through any given gallery in any given community, most chances that you won't find African American artists. Okay, so which means that you're not really part of that mainstream push. Contemporary artists are lacking in representation in the mainstream. Okay, so that means we're forced to do the African American thing. So we're forced to have a gallery that specializes in African American art. Because if we didn't do that, then there is a lot of artists, African American artists, wouldn't have the opportunity to show their works. So it's very vital, critically important, that we have galleries that specialize in African American artists. So that's why me as an artist who have been very successful in selling my work can get a gallery like this, and I'm not going to be I could just display my own work, but that would be a little bit selfish on my part. So I represent other African American artists. This is a gallery that specializes in African American art, but I will not limit this gallery to only displaying African American art. We do also display a lot of Hispanic art as well.
And these are opportunities that they may not otherwise have.
That's true. That's true. And we try to, and we avail the galleries for organizations, for mixers and stuff like that, where people can come in and have private showings. So it's not like always open for the public. We can actually close the gallery for 8 hours and entertain private groups. So we do a lot of that, and that works better for us too, because instead of us trying to attract a multitude of people, our space is not that big, but we can accommodate a small group and show, give them very special attention for those few minutes that we're dedicating for that group.
And I guess that's the entrepreneur side of yourself.
Yes, yes, because we want the gallery to be a place where people can come to appreciate and to learn.
Now, are you a collector yourself? And
Oh,
if
yeah.
so, what type of art do you collect?
I collect mainly anything that I like. Okay, so I've collected just about every African American artist that's of prominence. I've got a piece of their work in my collection.
Name a few.
John Biggers, Ramar Bearden, Jacob Lawrence, Elizabeth Catlett, Lois Malalou Jones, one of our contemporaries here in Los Angeles, Nathaniel Boostian. So, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, I just recently gave an exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum in Riverside for about 2 months. And it was all about the African American aesthetics.
Now, the African American aesthetics, what do you mean by that? Is it showing like culture through time, or is it just the different types of?
Every culture has a particular aesthetics that you can apply it to. So, in other words, the African American aesthetics, it's got to be about the way we do things, whether it's the way we walk, the way we dress, the way our sitcoms are done, okay, the way we talk. That is a particular aesthetics. Now, can we translate all that into art? We have proven that you can. Okay.
Well, you know, in saying that, when I hear you say that, the piece that I relate to that I think is kind of an aesthetic is this piece behind me up on the wall there. Would that be considered kind of an aesthetic, or does any of your work represent that?
It's done in a way that where, you know, if you're talking a certain language,
right?
Okay, to one particular person may not understand, but to somebody else may understand, i.e. Ebonics. Okay, so if I paint a particular way that a certain member of our community can relate to. So if I'm painting about a subject that only black people can relate to, that is an aesthetic directly directed towards the African American community.
Well, that's so fascinating. Do you also give lectures to young school-age kids who might want to become an artist, or?
I give lectures on how to survive as an artist. I school young artists on basically what they need to do to survive.
So in talking to young artists on how to survive, I guess that would go into your entrepreneurial skills, because you are a master entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And does that also take in the whole new millennium?
Yeah. Well, I've been quoted as being the new millennium artist. Okay. And the things that we practice and how we practice is all geared towards survival in the new millennium. Technology, I can't overstress the use of technology. A lot of people have been, a lot of the old school way of thinking about art has been against new technology, but we in my company has embraced it.
Okay.
And by embracing it in terms of new print technologies, the internet, you know, i.e. web pages and stuff like that, I can't stress enough of being on top of that and being on top of the latest changes as it relates to technology. Technology is the key to success in any business endeavor in the future in this country. The more clever you can be, the better off you're going to be. The more innovative you can be, the better off you're going to be. Because people in our society are looking for change. They're looking for something different. So they're looking for a different way to dress, constantly a different way to do your hair. What is the latest trends? And if you stay on top of the latest trends and always giving the latest trends in terms of art, you'll always do well. I can't overstress that for young artists.
So I like to say it's like a hand up, not a handout.
That's right. That's right.
Now this gallery is like a family project, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We have there's about 8 people working together in our organization. We have a partner here at this gallery, Cheryl Rente, who has just come on board as a partner. She brings in a lot of marketing skills that we need in order to move this gallery along. Then there's my wife and myself are also business partners. Then there's my son, who choreographs all the products that we sell. And when I say products, you notice I didn't use the word art, I used the word product, so that's my entrepreneurial spirit coming back in there.
It doesn't corner you into one.
It all depends on who I'm talking to.
Okay.
If I use the word product to an artist, I may lose them.
Okay.
But if I use it to a business person, they know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So the art in our terms is the product that we use to make a living. Okay. So my son does all the choreographing. He does all the production. He's head of that. Everything that I paint, I give to him, and he creates a product to go on the market. Okay. We have excellent salespeople, not only here in California, but in New York and Louisville, Kentucky, that works along with us as well. Okay, so we value the expertise on the individuals. We want great salespeople. We want great graphic designers. Okay, we want great business people. We want people who know how to pull a business together and know how to make it successful. That's very important.
Now, do you duplicate your work? Have you gone into replications as far as like a posters or?
Oh, we've done many posters on behalf of nonprofit organizations. We've given a lot of posters away to nonprofit groups so that they can raise funds for their endeavors. Right now, the thing is licensing. Licensing is a big, once you brand yourself as an artist, then all these licensing opportunities come up, because we've done CD covers for artists like Ramsey Lewis.
Oh, okay.
We've done CD covers for large record companies. We have done book covers. We have done, we just finished a project doing wine labels.
Really?
We're getting ready to go into wearable arts, where you take the art and you apply it to fabrics. Okay. We're designing clothes. We're designing purses. So the list goes on. There's an endless amount of possibilities when it comes to the art, if you want to be that type of artist. Okay, so there are some arguments that is bandied around about what type of artist is Charles Bibbs. Well, like I said, I consider myself a new millennium artist. I consider myself as an artist who is going to do the best he can to spread the value, to spread the energy of the African American culture. And the way we do that is that we put it out there. We put it out there for people to appreciate, okay? Because there's one thing that I believe in, that a woman's glory is her hair. A people's glory is their culture. And if you don't celebrate it, if you don't celebrate that culture, then you lose respect as a person.
I believe that. And you know, people can't always come to the gallery, and so I think it's so important that you're taking your work out there and the message out there to the people.
Yes.
In any, I don't want to say in any way possible or any fashion possible, but you know, we're out there buying products.
As Michael X says, any means necessary.
Yes, by any means
necessary. We will get it out there.
Okay, well, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
This gallery is so beautiful, and I'd like us to be able to go and look at some of the work and kind of explain what you were thinking when you created it and what gave you the name. And so maybe we can do that.
Sure.
We're here at the gallery looking at some of the wonderful, wonderful work of Charles A. Bibbs. And he's already shared a little bit of his secret in regards to using feathers and birds. And it looks like if you look at this outfit, this drawing is called Mother Earth. And if you look at the outfit she's wearing, you can kind of see, I think this is one of his long-necked birds that he was speaking of. You can see the feathers and the birds in the outfit that she's wearing. I'm sure he has a much more explanation, better explanation than I do. But it's just beautiful, beautiful work. And if you look up close, you can see the intricacy and detail in the penmanship on this art piece. And when you come down here to this gallery, you'll see that a lot of the work involves women. And, you know, I guess women are Mother Nature or nature's keepers. So it's beautiful, beautiful work. And also, just as a black woman looking at it, I see myself in a lot of these pieces. So I think it's important to get down here and check out his beautiful work and support our local artist. He is a local person, born in San Pedro and lived in Wilmington. So he's a local person. You should get down here. Married for over 37 years. That's pretty amazing in this time and age and time of marriage is not making it. And he's incorporated his entire family into his business. Well, welcome back to The Arts, Culture, and Us. I'm your guest host, Donna Sam, and I'm here with world-renowned artist and entrepreneur, Mr. Charles A. Bibbs. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Now, I wanted to talk about, I have a couple of questions before we do wrap up.
Okay.
The first one is this beautiful piece here, which is called Mother Earth.
Yes.
And tell me about the outfit she's wearing and why you chose to put all the different symbols and pictures there.
Well, as I said earlier, this whole exhibition is about the mystics. And one of the things that have really intrigued me, and it's been a subject of a lot of discussion, is the earth and how man has abused the earth. And I wanted to create this mystical image of Mother Earth, because we've used that term so loosely in our society.
Yes.
Mother Earth is an ideal. And that ideal is that, you know, if you take care of the earth, it will take care of you. Okay? So I have this serene individual is dressed up in this robe that has all the symbols that represents all of nature. So the animals, the birds, the fish in the sea, and the flowers, the plant life. And we even have some symbols that are eternal, like angelic symbols that are part of our religion, or religious symbols as well. The things that we praise to, the things that we glorify. Now the things in indigenous cultures, they pay homage to the earth. So this has a connection in that as well. And one other thing that I did, and here's that entrepreneurial spirit that comes out, I wanted to make this a limited edition. So what I did, I deliberately went to a lot of framers and I said, I want a frame, a molding, okay, that is sold out, is no longer made, and I want to use everything that's available for this Mother Earth piece. So what I did, I found this molding and duplicated the motifs and the molding in her dress.
Yes. Yeah.
So now, not only is she's a limited edition, but the molding as well is a limited edition.
I see that.
So when we reproduce Mother Earth, we frame all of the Mother Earth, 100 of them, out of this series. We frame 100 of them in this exact molding.
So when you say you made 100 of these, what does that mean to the collector?
Well, anytime the word collection Anytime you're collecting something, obviously collecting something that has a rare value.
Okay.
Okay, so the rarer you make something, the more collectible it is.
Okay.
So, you know, if I took 1,000 copies of this and I signed 50 of them in red ink, then collectors are going to want the red ink signature. So it's that process. So anything that if you make it special, then it's more collectible.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now I wanted to talk about the type of
technique
that you used here. What is this called?
Well, it's a mixed media technique. But the technique, you see a lot of small, minute lines in it.
Right.
Well, the artistic technical term for that is cross-hatching.
Cross-hatching.
But I've coined the phrase, I call it scratching, sort of a ghetto term that I've adapted. And I call it scratching because if you saw me doing this with this mechanical pen, it's more in a scratching method rather than a scoring one line over another. It's more like scratching. But basically the technique is cross-hatching.
Good to know, good to know.
Yeah.
And I noticed that women play a very important role in a lot of your pieces.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, I have a lot of respect for my mother. Okay, and I mean, a woman who's raised 8 kids, and as a parent, I don't know how they did it. I don't know how my father and mother were able to do it off of one salary. So my father and my mother, especially my mother, I just can't get away of paying homage to her. So every female image that I put out, in a sense, it's about my mother. But it's also about the millions of African American women that are holding up the culture of African Americans. Okay, because of the plight of African American males in our society. If it wasn't for our strong African American females, I don't know where we would be. So I've always been able to pay homage to that. 90% of my collectors are female.
Well, that's good to know. And
Yeah.
you know what? I want to thank you so much for your time and your knowledge and your beautiful artwork. This has really been a wonderful journey.
Thank you.
You so much.
Thank
Mr.
you very
Charles
much.
A. Bibbs.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
And I want to thank you and Cheryl
Rente.
for having us.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to get a piece with her?
Absolutely.
Could you?
Absolutely.
Because she's so a part of this gallery. Because you know, I only pop in here maybe once every 2 weeks.
Hi, this is your guest host, Donna Sam, with the Arts, Culture, and Us. And we are here at 626 Gallery, and I'm sitting here with Miss Cheryl Rente, who is a partner with the gallery, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does here. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, how are you this evening?
Great.
What do I do here? I do just about everything here. I oversee the gallery. I do most of the press and the public relations work. My part in being a partner was simply because I had expertise in being a special event planner.
Tell us a little bit about the special events that you coordinate.
The special events here are mostly artist receptions, and that's what we feature. Every month we try to do something different in the gallery to show other artists so that everyone can have an opportunity to be seen. Knowing that this is an African American fine art gallery and understanding that there aren't that many places where they can show their art, so we continually to have a turnaround every month.
And so what are some of the events that you do, such as hosting other artists?
Well, actually, I'll create a concept. For instance, in July, I'm doing A Man's World, where I have a collaboration of men coming on board so that we can see the art through the eyes of men. Of course, this particular exhibit is also led by Charles Bibbs. We'll also have some greats here like Bernard Stanley Hose in here, as well as Nathaniel Bustion will also be here.
I love that idea. It's great.
You know, and then following that, we have Masked on Mask, where we're actually doing an exposition of mask, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, in association with the city of Riverside. And then I'm going into Art for God, which is art as seen by the original man. The spiritual aspects. What if the chapel and the European chapel were designed by the original man, then how would our culture be different and change?
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like you are not short of ideas to have here at the gallery.
Which is why I'm partner.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I've seen some beautiful pieces here. Tell me, do you have a favorite?
My favorite was Healing Grace. And
you know what? That's what I said when I first came here. My favorite, when I start collecting his work, it would be Healing Grace. And then it turned into the one above your head.
Which one is that?
This piece
oh,
here.
Summer. Now there is a collection of that particular series where it's summer, winter, spring, and fall. And they're all similar, but they're all different. So, you know, that's another series. And when you see winter, you know, I think in winter her hair is different. It's just amazing, you know. And now with the new piece, Music Maker 3, I'm like, now I have to have that. You know, it's just like I have to have it. There's some pieces I have to have.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for taking time from your busy work to talk to us today and explain some of the pieces and how I can start collecting. And I think summer will be my first piece.
Absolutely.
And the name of the gallery again is?
626 Art Gallery at Studio B. B for Bibbs, as in Charles Bibbs.
And the hours?
We're here Tuesday through Friday, 4 to 8 p.m. in the evening.
Great. Well, I encourage everybody to come, and thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.